Yeah, the cute face and more. I don't really understand why I ain't never called, but even on my mind, it's better now, yeah, than to waste more time, babe. And as a matter of fact, I got a whole lot to vent out the past, so I can move on past, yeah. And that's the sound to my ex, even though that's video in the flesh. I got a whole bunch of things to say about my different way, how these things have changed, baby. And yeah, you cry a lot, and girl, we lie a lot, but it's time for us today. Yeah, I'm talking about a good times, they're way too bad. That's why you keep coming back to make a smile from sad. You're the one, and it's time to sit. Know your body like a back road, I still can't resist. I'm talking cut jeans with a skin tight shirt, and all these guys in the bar go berserk. You know you just make it work, really know it's your work. You hit me right where it hurts, but listen here, baby. I know what you want, yeah, I know what you need, babe.
All right, so the summer's coming to an end, and we've had a pretty good season so far. Fish to, nothing over about 44, I think. 44 pounds is the biggest. We've had a lot of 30, 40-pound fish. It seems like there's been a lot of big bait around. Started like second week of June. Your season started out awesome in the rivers.
And then it diminished quickly.
Yeah, because you haven't been fishing. But this time of year, we've been concentrating on like cool, clean water, trying to find it wherever we can. Being from New York, we fish in Montauk a lot.
Around the moons.
Yeah, everything's pretty much around the moons. Instead of fishing every day, we pick 2-3 days before, 2-3 days after.
We just lucked out with the moons. The wind has been good all around the moons.
Yeah, except last night. Yeah. When we got our ass kicked. So Fred shows up today, the best fishing day of the year.
Hoping to bless everyone with my good luck.
I want to go over a couple strategies that have been working for us. Everybody fishes a little different. It's pretty nice to have Chris Voorhees here. And since he makes all the plugs, we usually get whatever we need. And Fred just walked away with 2 brand new plugs.
My lucky day.
Yeah, he did all right. This is my bag pack for tonight. And the good part about fishing this time of year is we don't really change very much.
Huh?
Right? I mean,
when you've been fishing, if you're going out every night, you're going out, you know what the bait is. You know what they're dialed in on. It's easier. You don't have to go out with a ton of stuff.
In my bag for tonight is, this is one of Chris's trollers. It's just, this is a regular troller. Would you tell us a little bit about this?
So with these ones, when you're going after if they're big fish, and you know you're going after big fish, I like to go with a single hook. The fish gets a little less leverage on it. I move the hook back a little bit, slow down the action a little. Well, the reason I put 2 hooks on it is because not necessarily for catching the fish, but it actually slows down the lure a little bit, slows down the action. It gives it a natural feel to it.
I know me and Fred fished, and he'd hear me cursing all the time, even though it's the troller that was catching, is these foul hook a lot, and that can be very frustrating when you're fishing, is to get...
the weighting in them, they're not it's actually a crosswind that really starts to screw you up. So they're not the greatest casting plug, even though they're heavy, they tumble. It's a big plug.
How can we stop that?
So you always want to, when you cast it out, you want to stop the lure. You want to catch the line before it hits the water, and that lets so the line doesn't catch up. Yeah, as the lure's going, the line doesn't get in front of the lure. So if you kind of, I cast and I listen to that line, and when I hear that line start to slow down, I catch it before it hits the water, and that really, really cuts down on
It makes a big difference. Yeah. It's super frustrating when you know the fish are there, and then
and it happens on a crosswind. So the more line you have out there, the further it's going to get down. Current will really get these down. I know guys that are kayak fishing, and with the standard troller, when they're trolling it, they can get it down about 25, 30 feet.
But like a night like tonight, so we're going to fish boulder fields, deep water.
Well, the good thing with this is, again, if you without current, this will probably go about 4 feet below. But you can get it to come up. You can tweak it and get it to go
by
down
just messing around.
Yeah, the deep troller, on the other hand, is going to get really, really deep.
Right. But we've been doing really well with the deep troller also.
Yeah. So
let's see what else we got now.
Also, for helping this not foul, the heavier leader, the heavier the leader you use, really keeps it from.
This time of year, we're fishing. This time of year, we're looking for big fish. There's no question about it. We're not going out looking for little fish. We're fishing around the moons.
That's why you got the 1 hook.
Right. We got one big hook, and we're fishing 80 to 100 pound fluorocarbon leader. I mean mono. Fluorocarbon's a little bit expensive. It seems on the dark moons it doesn't make much of a difference. The bright moon will drop down to 50 fluoro and fish eels.
Big heavy leader. You don't feel bad. you're confident in wrapping your hand around it, pulling the fish up on a rock. You got to do it, and it's not
And
gonna do it.
catching the line before your lure hits the water becomes second nature after you've casted it, about 30 times, and you get the idea. It's all about timing, you know. So, it seems like, oh, well, how do I know? I'm compensating distance to catch them, but you're not, because you kind of know when your lure is going to hit the water.
You can hear and feel that
You can
line
hear
coming
and
off the
feel
spool.
it, yeah,
And when it's
yeah.
not like coming off, and
Right.
all right.
Yeah, it's
so-
a really good point. You think that you're losing distance, but you're really catching it right before it hits.
It's second nature. Sometimes I do that with lures anyway.
Yeah, it's good, especially in a
You
wind.
know, so
because you're
get into
digging
action
in
right away.
immediately.
especially if you're fishing around people.
Yeah.
So you don't have a big bow on your.
A fatty 24/7.
I think it's fatty now.
Oh,
Yeah,
fatty lures. Fatty lures is a glider. I've been using it mostly as a fish finder. It seems like if there's anything around, it's going to whack this thing. Just a reaction strike, I would think, right? Kind of like the stick shad. A little easier on the body, a little worse on the pocket. Cost expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to lose this one,
They
but
catch.
it's a fish finder that does catch. It's caught some nice fish so far this year.
The compromise, the great compromise.
A great compromise, right?
Yeah, and I use,
Yeah, you can't
Similar to
beat
that.
a stick shad.
Yeah. So it's, this is a darker color. This is nighttime. Guys are used to, using these as like a top water bait, but at nighttime. So there's the fast sinking and there's the sinking. This is the 182 sinking. I use this usually at night. The fast sinking I'll use during the day. The sinking I'll use at nighttime because I can work a little bit slower. Not worry about getting, fouled up, but just a slow retrieve on this. And it's just a nice,
So it
it's
takes
almost like a
little-
Your
darting
biggest fish
action.
this year came on this one so far, right? One of
One-
your bigger fish?
One of them,
One of
yeah,
them.
and it caught me by surprise, almost ripped me off the rock. I was just holding it in the current.
Oh, yeah,
And, oh, yeah. And
Yeah, you got the
and-
big one on the beach.
And
yeah.
the other one,
Yeah.
too, yeah, okay.
And like around shallow stuff, this hasn't been super productive for me. I know Chris has got a bigger needle, but big floating needles. I think Dave Anderson made this one.
It's a great needle.
It's
Floating.
caught a lot of fish. Yeah, floating, not really real big ones. Chris got a bomb the other night. Do you have that needle?
Yeah, that was on
Let's see what we got here. Chris had a 40-pound class fish. It's the biggest one we've had this trip so far.
big 12-inch Habs needle. And we're fishing, pretty shallow water.
Yeah, really
but,
shallow water.
But this, it's big. It's a big profile, and it's heavy. It bombs out there, but with a slow retreat, it comes up.
I
Comes
think
up right along.
this time of year, like I was always scared to think. I remember me and you talked about we thought darters were like a big profile a long time ago,
Yeah.
and you're scared when you see something like that or like a big needle like this. But the fish are going to eat it. It throws off a big wake in that really calm water, and
Yeah.